brought to you by Knights of Awakening. This is the Labyrinth. So, you're dead. Did that shock you? If it did, a little, then you still have an attachment to the idea that death is a bad thing, spiritually speaking. And most of the core gods of death, and we're going to use Odin as our example because I'm Norse and I like Odin. Most of your gods of death have a lot more to do with transformation than simply death. And moreover, the path of the shaman and the mystic as a whole is about a kind of death. So we're going to be looking at that a little bit, what that means to you as a practitioner, and how you should embrace this death and the new life that comes from it. Now, I said that the shamanic gods, many of them are death gods. Odin's a prime example of this. He is a shamanic god. He goes on journeys, he practices a very shamanic path, and he's a god of death. More than just the fact that he's said to control death on the battlefield or favor those who are superior at causing it, Odin takes on a small death, a sacrifice of who he is, to find the runes, or the secrets of knowledge, wisdom, and power. And if you're seeking the path of the mystic, the shaman, or the sorcerer of some form, you too will die. Now, a lot of people aren't going to like to hear that. It sounds so harsh and it scares you, and it should. This should be a scary thing. The death that I'm talking about is the death of your old self. There are some things that you're going to find that die off in you. The first one is the ability to say, there was nothing I could do. That's not always true. You may have done everything you can, and then you could say there was nothing you could do. But as a shaman, as a sorcerer, as any form of mystic out there, there's always magic you could have wielded to offset things and made some kind of difference. Now, maybe you couldn't change the outcome. Maybe it was beyond your power. But there's also many things that most people would say, well, there's nothing I could do. Where, for you, there is. Instead, you lose. That dies. That ability to say, well, it wasn't my problem. It wasn't something I could handle. I shouldn't say that it wasn't your problem. You're going to maintain that. You're going to need that more than ever. The ability to say there was nothing you could do to change things, that's gone. Instead, you have to say there was nothing I cared to do. There was nothing I felt it worth to do. I didn't have enough time, possibly even, to do enough. There are a lot of things you could say, but there was nothing I could do starts to leave your vocabulary. You shift the fabric of reality. You are a mystic. And when you experience the death of the old self, this is a part of you that dies. What's the death of the old self? The death of the old self is not a complete death of ego, but it's a partial death. It's a partial death and rebirth. It's a death of that part of you that is satisfied with where you're standing. It's a death of that part of you that is okay with your point in evolution in this cycle and that can accept your life as the way it is when you have the power to change it. It's the death of the part of you that's powerless and instead embraces the part of you that is godlike, all-powerful in essence, a force to be reckoned with. That's the death you experience. And that can be done through shamanic journey. That can be done through deep meditation and contemplation. It can be done through experience. Simply having reached the point where one day you're doing your ritual. You've laid down your triangle. You've summoned your demon. You send it off to do what you tell it to do. And you look and you realize that there is no longer anything outside of your grasp. Only things you've yet to take the time to grasp. That there is nothing you personally cannot do with your magic, given some time, given the will to do it. And then you look over and you go, I've died. The weak me that began these practices is gone. The weak me that was a victim to all things has passed away. You may even choose to do a spiritual funeral and burial for the old you. It's an acceptance that you are the primary moving power in your life. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed everything you do. With vast power, the ability to send and call demons, to see the future and alter the world with a whim, with a clap of your hands. You just look and go, and it changes. There are limits to that too. There are things that takes magic longer to do, and there are things that magic simply does not do. Part of that's time too. Magic does not bring people back from the dead. I know there's a Christian that's going to jump up out there right now. They're going to complain that, their God rose from the grave and this, that, and the other. And I respect agnostic mysticism in Christianity. And I'm not going to argue that point with you and your God. Anyone who chooses to raise that point in the comments, feel free to. But you've obviously walked into the wrong hall here. Because I'm telling you that unless you can bring someone back, I don't give a damn what your legends say. So no, magic doesn't bring people back from the dead. And it doesn't make change instantly. Though it can. I should say that magic works on the manipulation of the environment, of probabilities, of chance, of the moving things that could alter while in motion, and on encouraging those things that are not moving to pick up and move. But there are limits to that as well. You know every protection and every defense out there, and you can prevent a man from striking you by never allowing him to get near you to land the strike. His trips will change. His plans will cancel. He'll find he has other things to do. And he will not cause you harm. And that's great. If you're wise and you use your magic well, you take precautions and you have the foresight and the insight to use it. And, of course, if someone's swinging at you, I suggest you do the greater invocation of the greater Jack Dempsey. You look at him and you say, you son of a gun, and hit him in the ribs as hard as you can with an upper cutting motion. This invocation has been known to drop men of all sizes. At the very least, steal the air in their lungs. But let's not talk about what magic can't do. Let's talk about what it can with this death you experience. In this death, you gain a new freedom. The old morals and old ways of looking at things fade away, and you now do what it is you do because what is you feel that is right. But you have the death of ignorance. You can no longer say, well, I didn't know, because you are a wizard. And a wizard means a wise one, an advisor. And therefore, you must know. You must be looking into those secrets constantly if you're on this path. That is if you're on the path. That is if you're not playing. We have so many people in the world who play with magic. We have so many people in the world who learn to do a little, but they don't take on the path. And for you, yes, you are limited and you didn't know any better and you can't do anything about it. You can cuddle up under those excuses like a warm blanket. And they'll keep you warm at night. For the mystic. For the mystic, we have the death of ignorance of the self as well that we must contend with. We must become enlightened. And in that enlightenment, we must become enamored as well with the darkness. We must learn all sides of the sphere. A lot of us like to call the universe the flow, the understanding of it, the gem or the crystal. It has so many facets. And I call it the sphere, because it is sideless and is always spinning in motion. And in its high rate of spin in your life, it presents the illusion of a solid side. And as you become sharper, and you become more aware, you see that for the illusion. You see the wholeness and the images within the sphere. That is what it means to be mystic. That is what it means to have the death. To have died. So that is the importance of death in mysticism. Small bit of it. I'm trying to keep these videos shorter. The last couple videos hit 20 minutes. I don't like that. I don't think you need 20 minutes to get my message across. If you like what I had to say here, like it, share it, subscribe it, pass it around, make this thing spread like wildfire, make it like glitter. If you didn't like what I had to say, if you'd like to challenge my knowledge, meet me in the comments section, where I will be glad to respond, either under the Knights of Awakening handle or under my own personal account. But ultimately, not only would I like to ask you all to awaken the night within, I would ask you all to take a small death with me and dive into what it means to truly be a mystic.